Welcome everybody to the Consolation Final of the End of the Storm here on Khaldor TV. We have Bob going up against TeamLiquid, and we all know of course how this match ended when we were in the winner bracket semi-final, when Bob was able to claim the series with a 2-1 victory. They are the reason why TeamLiquid is currently down in the losers bracket, and TeamLiquid of course they want revenge. They want to redeem themselves for that loss in the winner bracket and do what they do best, win tournaments. Move on to face ATN Fancy and take them down. And our first map today between the two teams is Battlefield of Eternity. And we have an old friend in the setup for Bob. We actually have Abatha. Abatha together with the Jaina, which is always nice. So in this case, they're actually trying to run the double Jaina during those fights. They could also use a copy on Arthur's. Arthur's and Meriton are building the front line here for Bob. And we all know that an Arthur's copy can be quite annoying as well. If it's about damage, though, then you're always going to try and get that Jaina in. And especially when we're talking Abatha, experience soaking is going to be a big thing. The interesting part here is that we also have a Zeratul on the side of TeamLiquid. So Bob actually allowed a Zeratul in the game, and Blackscop is going to be pretty happy about that. When it comes to damage, they rely heavily on Vala in the backline, TeamLiquid that is. So we have a pretty cool setup for both of the teams here, and especially of course that Zeratul play will have to shine once again to really put pressure on those squishies and the damage dealers on the side of Bob. The game that starts a series off, as mentioned before, happens to be on on Battlefield of Eternity. We had so much Tomb this tournament, didn't we? And it was always fun, but now we are on Battlefield of Eternity. And guys, without further ado, let's find out which team takes the lead in the series. Game number 1 in our match, and the best of 3 here between TeamLiquid and Bob. We have a rematch. TeamLiquid, they get a chance to redeem themselves for the loss in the winner bracket semi-final here at the end of the storm. Now we are in the loser bracket. We're actually in the Consolation Final. The team that takes this best of 3 series is going to play in the grand final a best of 5 against ATN Fancy. And right now we're having to the left side of the map the Spanish team. Vortex on Johanna, we have Lucifer on Tyrael, Falcon on Vala, Rega on Gran Paquete, and Blackscorp on Zeratul. To the right side of the map, it is Bob with ADRD on Abatha. We have Bakery on Uther, Thera Angel on Muradin, Zarmony on Arthur's, and Snitch playing Jaina. And the game already starts off with a bit of action here. Blackscorp is found out, is still running around, but the Storm Bolt misses. Yeah, well, a nice attempt by Zarmony and Thera Angel, but both of them missing their spells, and therefore they can't really lock them down. Currently down to the bottom lane, we have a Thera Angel, Bakery, and a Snitch. And we see in talents, again, a couple of talents that really target towards the Regeneration Globes. We have, in this case, Regeneration Master for Tyrael, also for Arthur's, by the way. Didn't go into block or anything. One Conjurer's Pursuit for Uther, and Gran Paquete dies in the mid lane, a bit too far out, and that is that stun combo that we've been talking about earlier on. The setups in general is very, very aggressive here for Bob, with Abatha. Can potentially jump into any of these heroes, of course, which is basically a given, but he will later on also have copies ready for Jaina and potentially even Arthur's if they need that during one of the fights. But the more important part is that right now we have already a sniper composition at the bottom lane with Uther with 1 stun, Muradin with a stun, and then Snitch with all that damage thanks to his Blizzard. And if they announce it early enough in voice, then they can also make sure that Abatha is with them to get even more damage in, so they can really just snipe any kind of target if they are fast enough with it. Vortex already just waiting over here. We have Falcon and Gran Paquete leading the tri-lane to the bottom, and at this point it's even the reduction on the cooldown for Zeratul, and the reason is simple. Zeratul just saying like, okay, listen boys, going into Regeneration Master on this map doesn't really do too much for me. I need to make sure that I have a cooldown reduction because the alternatives are just not good enough on Battlefield of Eternity. I don't get enough Regeneration Globes to use Regeneration Master, and instead I could head into Season Marksman, but there I'm going to have the same problem. The teams both on level 3 right now. And we are seeing a Thera Angel, Bakery, and Snitch now straight going for the bot lane and trying to snipe the Immortal. Up to the top, we are having, in this case, IDRD not even moving out. I don't quite understand why he's this far out. I would have expected him to at least go to the front, and that's where he is right now. So all of those came in a bit late. I guess he wanted to dodge reveal by Blackscorp. At the top lane, he can soak maybe a bit of experience depending on how long the fight goes. And there is his kill against Zeratul. Second kill for Bob. And they are currently doing quite well.
Well, the rule of thumb for Team Liquid so far is lose the first map and then win 2 in a row. That's what they've been doing in the loser bracket in every single match that we've casted from them so far. I'm pretty curious to see if this is going the exact same way. The teams are both now on level 4, and we're seeing a full support build for Abathur with Adrenal Overlord for the increased attack speed and pressurized clans. It is in this case the Immortal for the red team that is being dropped here first. So nice attempt. Zarmany already in the mid lane. They're going to get those 2 globes, or they already got them. Zarmany of course wants to make sure that he at least gets something out of the Regeneration Master here. We have for Jaina now, after the level 1 talent Deep Chill, also Snowstorm taken. And at the same time here, a double amplified healing. Interesting. It's quite some time since I've seen that on both of the tanks, but now Johanna and also Tyrael are rushing in with the talent. And considering that, of course, the chain heal that we're seeing on Rhaegar has got a bounce between the targets, this should give him a lot of potential heal here thanks to that. Even on level 4 we have it now. So you get the chain reaction if you start things off with the lightning shield. A full heal build here on Rhaegar. It's actually sometimes pretty cool when you even combine that with a forward momentum. It's a talent that we see very, very rarely. It's the battle momentum variation that Rhaegar uses, which doesn't really help you with the cooldown reduction on the heroic ability, but it's amazing when it comes down to the basic abilities, since you get a full minute for every single hit that you dish out. But it's very rare that we actually see the talent taken, but if you do exactly that, then you get insane numbers out there. Oftentimes, of course, you have to go for Cleanse, and in this particular setup, it looks like Cleanse is going to be what Rhaegar will have to take. An arrow build again for Vala in this case. Of course, for Muradin, the Reverberation build, considering that we have not only Zeratul, but also double tank plus Vala in the mix. And for now, both of the teams are just aiming for level 7 with a slight lead already, thanks to the Immortal up at the top lane, destroying 2 towers for Bob. And Bob is moving in against Vortex. There's also Black Scorp. He can blink away, and he does. Snitch is taking quite some damage, but Vortex is maybe, yes, he's dying. The second wave of the Blizzard is taking him down. Job well done. And here comes the level 7 talent as already advertised. Frost Armor has now been taken. An important talent against auto attack heroes, and it's basically the anti-Zeratul talent. Bakery probably gonna have some monitor problems again. That's what happens to him like all the time. Either with his graphics card or the monitor, he always has some kind of issues, and that's exactly what's happening here. But it gives us an opportunity to talk about ADR up to the top lane, where he currently has taken Mule on Abathur. That is actually quite helpful for him now, especially if they can protect their towers for a bit longer. Falcon is already there, Lucifron as well, for the level 7 talents now on the opponent's team. There's a few choices of what they could go for. We could have, oh, there's actually like the unpause, so we're going to see it immediately. And there it is, Cleanse taken, also First Aid, so more of a sustain build now for Muradin, for Zeratul in this case. It has become a bit more popular to go back into First Aid and not really go for follow through here after the focused attack, just to make sure that you have more sustain on Zeratul. And some player, especially when you're going up against a triple warrior composition, have even gone so far as to take Regeneration Master plus the First Aid. So for now, it's also repeating arrow and a double battle momentum for the 2 tanks that will allow them to just spam their spells a bit faster and a bit harder. So a very solid setup here, with Bob taking again a slight lead in the game, as already mentioned before. And now the teams are really starting to focus straight into the middle attacks here. So we have at this point an attack straight for that Immortal, so they're trying to make sure that they're dropping the hit points as fast as they can. Abathur could even move out, but he's of course a bit reluctant, given that we have a Zeratul in the mix. There's currently mines everywhere, and they are not only revealing the position of Team Liquid, but also taking the hit points down a bit. Falcon is rather low, and wow, gets locked down again. Great play here on the side of Bob. Ethereal Angel and Zarmany getting the kill in against the range damage dealer, and now they're moving in for the Immortal again. Only 5 seconds until Falcon is back to business though, but Zarmany is already rocking the front line together with Abathur, and Vortex is super low. They could have followed that up for a kill. I'm actually pretty sure that they could have gotten that in, but they decide to just put some more damage in, jumping away already. They probably want to well up and make sure that they have an opportunity to just go back with full health. To the bot lane, ADRD is still soaking a bit of experience. We already saw for a second Zeratul out there. Vortex is appearing, and Abathur is just like, screw that, and runs away. It's like, that's not what I signed up for. The top lane experience is being taken here, and they have to move away for now. I can tell you one thing, Bob is very happy to play this game where they don't focus for the Immortals, and the reason is actually quite simple. First of all, if they get a kill, that would be amazing, but even if they don't, they are the team that is going to hit level 10 faster. Black Scorp is still back there and apparently was revealed by a Toxic Nest. So Abathur knows exactly what's happening. Oh, and they know where Black Scorp is. And Black Scorp is like, oh shit. And is trying to get away. Blinks in and is now trapped back here where he can use B to move away. He mounts up. Zarmany is still chasing him. And now he's visible. Black Scorp is on the run. Everybody else is already going for the Immortal again. And he is not going to make it. Black Scorp might have a blink ready. No, he does not. And he goes down. Well, that was a bit of a fail right there. Trying to take down Abathur, but ADRD, he knew exactly what he was trying to do. And now we have the level 10s ready. With already the ultimate evolution, we're seeing Divine Shield, Avatar, Army of the Dead, and Water Elemental taken. And they, of course, focus down the Immortal now. And this is a very solid position that Bob finds themselves in at this point. Black Scorp is back to business, but they don't have the level 10 ability. And the only thing that TeamLiquid can try and do is get a few of those shields gone by simply attacking the Immortal. But they are going to lose out on this one. Half shields on the Immortal, and Immortal number 2 also ending up in favor of Bob. ADRD up at the top lane. And well, Black Scorp, let's see if he has learned his lesson here. Abathur is not for you. At least not in this particular fight that we saw there. Now it's a tire level there ahead, Bob that is, but we have Blessed Shield, Judgment, of course Ancestral Healing plus Strafe, and in this case it is also Void Prison that is being used. Down here, the push at the top lane. Abathur is still dodging around a bit, but he can now try and go in for a potential kill. A bit of experience, I should rather say. He's not going to kill too much down there, but he's going to push back the lane. Already the copy here, ADRD. We have the double J9. They're starting to move in. They want to have the fort. They want to take the fort entirely. That Immortal is already doing work. ADRD on the copy is far out and delivered some damage. The Immortal is on the fort, is starting to take it down here, and the rest of the team is just rushing away as TeamLiquid goes deep, but now they are starting to be stunned out. Black Scorp is in trouble, got cleansed, and just barely gets away. Ancestral Healing had to be committed to this, but now the Immortal went through the fort. They get their kill. Zarmany actually moving away here, can turn around for a lockdown with a Howling Blast, and Ethereal Angel, oh nice, goes for the Judgment for Bakery in the backline, but they're not killing anybody here. Very good retreat, very coordinated on the side of Team Bob, and TeamLiquid is starting to fall behind again a little bit. So right now, 5 kills against 0, and Bob is up at the top lane. As I said before, they won in the winner bracket semi-final against TeamLiquid already once with a 2-1. But now they are really looking solid in game number 1. And for TeamLiquid, there is, of course, a lot of prestige on the line as well. It's not only about the prize money here. The team that takes this series has a chance to end up first place in the tournament. The team that loses, by the way, is third place automatically. So this is basically the third place decider if you so want. The team that takes it has a shot to win in the finals against ATN Fancy and call themselves the champions of the End of the Storm tournament. But the loser of this match will come in third place and still get quite a bit of money. So we only have winners in this game, but you want to take the tournament, of course. You want to take the title. And we have, at this point, level 13 now, finally, for Team Bob, with Biting Cold, a Shrink Ray, and also besides that, not only one... actually in this case the improved Ice Block here is going to help on top of the Frost Armor that we already discussed a bit earlier, and we also have now the Soma Transference, so really a full support build that we're seeing. It helps a bit with the extra damage when you're looking at somebody like Zarmany. I actually think the chances are pretty high that if he doesn't feel threatened, he goes for Frostman Feats on level 16. Stone Skin is probably a bit more likely, but Frostman Feats would put him into a very aggressive stance where he has so much damage thanks to Biting Cold, thanks of course also to Destruction on level 4, and then Frostman Feats the later on for the double trait that he can apply. Immortals are going to be back in another 10 seconds, but we also have camps taken on the map, and up to the top lane it's another Khaldor camp. That extra talent that we're seeing for Team Bob makes it very difficult for TeamLiquid to actually fight for this one. I'm not quite sure if they're really going to try and make that work. ADRD already repairing the walls and putting the mule to good use. That's one of the things that he definitely has to do here. And again, the fight for the Immortal right now. So they're starting to move in. Again, we have Arthurs already about to move away. They're just like trying to zone that out a bit. So at this point, Vortex and the rest of the team are still lingering around here. They don't have the 13 talent, which is important. But right here, it is still the defense of TeamLiquid, and they are making that happen. But the top lane is being pushed, and Snitch is just helping out the Khaldor camp. As long as there's no fight, Abathur has also no real need to jump into the battle itself. So he's just helping out at the top lane, and they are putting quite some pressure onto this one. So now TeamLiquid is moving away, try to secure themselves some experience, and that time is being used by Bob to take down the hit points items on the Immortal of the blue team, and they are going to bring it down to half health when the Immortals are of course starting to change positions again. Now the level 13 talent for Team Liquid is in play, and that gives us finally the healing surge. One spell shield on Vala, who went for the arrow build of course, and even Burning Rage plus Wormhole. So right now the fight is on, the heat is on, and they're going for it. The imposing will on Tyrael keeps him alive a bit longer, long enough for that ancestral healing to hit, and Bob is starting to lose a lot of hit points, especially Muradin is extremely low, and a great Void Prison capturing 4 heroes. They get their cooldowns ready up, and that is going to be a disaster for Bob. Down goes the first. They get the kill against Zeratul though, they keep themselves alive, unbelievable. With that Void Prism, I really thought they would lose at least 2 heroes there. Zarmany is still alive. Snitch also moving in. Try to use the Cone of Cold again. It's still a 4 versus 4 situation in the game, and that is pretty impressive here. It looked for a second really like that Void Prism would be the perfect setup for Team Liquid to move in and drop 2 or 3 targets, but they did not make it work, and now it's again the Immortal for Team Bob. Wow. They are by now more than a level ahead. Very, very solid performance here for them. And they get the Immortal again. They get the Immortal, and it is going to push the top lane in this case, and therefore another fort will fall. They will also get level 16 very soon. And Team Liquid, they have to really, really start to think about how they are going to come back into this. They need to win a team fight. They need to win it soon. Zeratul, I mean, he is definitely making an impact here, and the Void Prism was a good setup, but then he died right afterwards, and that didn't really help. Puts him into a 4 versus 4 situation, and now the Immortal up at the top lane. I mean, these bad boys, they scale, right? They scale over time, and, well, this one already took down the first structure. It's going straight for the tower here, and it is strong. As long as it has a shield, it still has a ranged attack. It's going into melee mode once that the shield is gone. Blackscop just barely getting away here. Full strafe getting pulled out here by Falcon. He gets stunned though. Ancestral healing. And it just barely keeps him alive. And the Immortal is still doing damage. Oh god, Johanna is dead. And they still move in. The copy even alive. And that's more damage against Zeratul, who blinks away. But a kill against Vala is turning this into a 5 versus 3 now. The Void Prism used to let Blackscop escape here. Right at the bot lane, we have a huge push going. Abathur can help out here, and this is going to be the first keep of the game. Level 16 talents are now ready for Team Bob as well, and they run this with Stone Skin, Stone Form, Benediction, so many sustain talents that allow them to stay alive, and they take not only the keep but also of course the last tower here. They rotate around again, they can even go through the wall here if they want, and maybe drop that well so that it's difficult for Team Bob or for Team Liquid later on to go for those Immortal fights. Abathur of course always able to push down the bot lane too. On the side of Jaina we have the Numbing Blast, and they fight for the camp here. They want to take it, and they get it. They get the camp, and more than really doing damage with the camp, it's really important that you are in a position where you can sneak it away from your opponent so that you don't have to deal with it later on when the next Immortal is being announced. A 2-level lead, and Bob just playing an absolute great game here. The rotation to the bot lane already happening for them to take another Khazra camp. Abathur is shifting up to the top lane right now. As Abathur always makes also sense to just move between the lanes a bit to make it harder for Zeratul to guess where exactly you are. Usually with the Locust pushing a lane down, he of course has a pretty clear picture of where exactly Abathur is positioned. But as long as you just mix it up every now and then a bit, it's oftentimes wasted time for him to try and hunt you down. And we already saw earlier how that exactly turned out for him. So the camps are taken all over the map. I mean, every single camp that we have here is claimed by Bob. They go for the Khazra camp up at the top lane, and they reserve the Bruiser camp to the right side for just a bit longer. And the reason is of course simple. They want to time that again perfectly with the Immortals if they can. And now they start to move in. They take the camp, and as soon as they get it, they can just simply say, alright, let's wait a second. But as the Immortals already spawn, they don't have to wait for too long. They can claim it immediately. And we have down here, what is Team Liquid doing? They're just rotating again and trying to de-push the top lane because they already know that they have to spend quite some time over there in the middle to fight. Level 16 talents now finally with the Holy Ground and the Tidal Waves. Rhaegar with a full healing build basically. Holy Renewal even to give Johanna a bit more self-sustain here. And we are also seeing the same for Vala. Of course not the Holy Renewal, but Blood for Blood, self-sustain for her as well. Rending Cleave for Zeratul since he realizes he's just jumping in and trying to get some cleaves out. No time for the Singularity Spikes. Actually, Blackscorp is running away here, dropping the first aid, and he is on the run. I really love the control during the fights against Zeratul that we're seeing from Bob. They make it very difficult for Blackscorp to get anything done here. And once again, he's trying to sneak into the backline, but Snitch with Jaina is in a pretty decent position to force Blackscorp back. Mostly, of course, because of that Frost armor. The Immortals are still there. Potential kill here against Arthas. Arthas moving away. He had the Divine Shield, but in comes Judgment against Jaina. Oh, and a good Void Prism to help Blackscorp out. Of course, that would have been better as a setup for a team kill, but in this case, they're at least making sure that Blackscorp is getting away. It's still a 5 versus 5. Everybody's starting to drop quite low here, especially Lucifron now. Aethero Angel is waiting for his trade to kick in so that he gets some hit points back, and Bakerio, of course, with Benediction can go for the double heals, but Aethero Angel is really deep, way too deep. Abathur is helping him. Down goes Teriel on. Johanna drops to both of the tanks eliminated, and Bob in an amazing spot right now. 10 kills against 1 in this game. 10 kills for Bob, and it looks really like Bob is the new TeamLiquid. They are in such a great position right now, and they are going for the Immortal, where the rest of the team is just trying to make sure that Zeratul is not getting too cheeky. Especially Snitch has been zoning him out quite a lot. Immortals in the mid lane fighting against each other, and now we are going to see the position shift again. With this, potentially the Immortal that drops keep number 2. They are welling up, they're moving back for now. Very, very cool play so far from Bob. The game is not over yet though. TeamLiquid, they are one of the teams that of course can always bounce back. How often have they played matches where it looked like they would lose and they still turned it around, and now they have to show exactly that spirit again. But it is going to be extremely difficult for them to pull that one off. Especially with this Immortal now even having more than half health for the shield, it's going to be incredibly difficult. Immortal is going to move down to the bot lane, where we still have a keep in play. And that is where, apparently, TeamLiquid is already trying to make a fight happen. They're jumping in immediately, going straight for it. They go for Arthas here, but they have been turned away. And nice kill against Zeratul. Howling Blast locking him down. They're trying the same with Vortex and Lucifron now. Vortex is about to die. Johanna has no chance here. And up at the top gets Lucifron. Does he get away? In comes Aethero. And Lucifron is on the run. With Smite, he should be able to get away. And yes, he will. That Stormbolt just doesn't have the range. But at the bot lane, the Immortal is already in full force up at the wall, taking down both of the towers, and this is 12 kills against 1 right now. A 5 versus 3 scenario with Bob hitting level 20 very, very soon. An incredible performance by them just now. And they are starting to move in for this. So TeamLiquid, they are still trying to somehow get back into this, but with the level 20 talents now being ready, it's nearly impossible for them to make that happen. Here comes already the Hardened Shield. We're seeing the Blink used, and even Hive Mind. This is going to be game number 1, ending up in favor of Bob. TeamLiquid once again in this loser bracket loses map number 1. Zeratul is delaying it for a bit longer, but I don't think it's going to make a difference. No, it of course doesn't. A kill against Jaina is not enough. GG, and TeamLiquid is down 1 game in the series. Bob has taken the lead in the best of 3.
Wow, Bob taking the lead in the series again. And I have to admit that my personal favorite moment was when Zeratul, when Blackscorp was trying to snipe Abathur on AD-RD. He knew that it would happen at some point. He puts the mines in place. Zeratul runs into the mine, and then the hunt is on. Zeratul revealed, and everybody says, get Shorty or get Blackscorp. They rush in, try to take him, and he runs all the way into the main base of Bob, tries to escape somehow, goes to the core, and they are just hunting him down like prey. It was really funny to see that. I don't think that Blackscorp experienced that a lot, being on the run like this. But as you can see here, the 1-0 lead for Team Bob, and well, now we're heading into, of course, game number 2, and the map choice was TeamLiquid's. They go into Cursed Hollow here, and we have, again, a very interesting setup. Not only do we see Zeratul again for TeamLiquid, but also they don't play a double warrior. Double warrior has been the dominant strategy in Europe for like months, and now they are trying to play single warrior again. Single warrior together with a Sylvanas and also a Jaina on top of that Zeratul that they already use. So a very aggressive setup that can really work. I mean, you can use that Void Prison as a setup for the Wailing Arrow. You don't have to, but you can. There's also the Blizzard to consider and a few other things, so a very aggressive setup on their stance. That meant, on the other hand, with the way that they drafted, that they gave up on Leoric and Johanna, which is of course something that most teams don't really want to do. They're not comfortable with it, because both of these warriors have not only a strong presence in team fights, but also a lot of pushing power on the lane itself. And another thing that we are seeing here on the side of Bob is that they're simply saying, you know what? 2 warriors are not going to be enough here for us. We are going to pick Arthas as the 3rd warrior. So a triple warrior setup against a single warrior setup, and especially Zeratul is not going to be happy about this. Zeratul, when he jumps in, he wants to have squishies that he can attack and focus down, and 3 warriors is not really the comfort zone of Zeratul. For the damage dealer, we are seeing Bob running this with Raynor, so he could also be the damage dealer in the backline. And what's the biggest weakness of Raynor? Exactly. Escape. He doesn't have any. So you need to try and keep him alive, and what better than having 3 warriors around you that are protecting your ass 6 days to Sunday. That's exactly what they're trying to do right now. And guys, TeamLiquid, they really have to buckle up now, because they need to make sure that this is a victory for them, or they will be out of the tournament, and they want to avoid that. So far, every single time they fell behind in the tournament, they've been able to come back, except of course for the winner bracket match against Bob. Let's find out together on Curse Hollow if they can do it again. Game number 2, everybody, and theoretically it could be the last game in this series for especially TeamLiquid, who are already down 1 map, so if they lose another one, then they're out of the tournament. But then again, they found themselves in a similar situation already twice in this tournament, in the losers bracket, and every single time that happened, they bounced back and won 2 in a row. So at this point, we're having actually to the left side of the map, TeamLiquid with Vortex on Jaina, Lucifron on Muradin, we have Falcon on Sylvanas, Gran Paqueta on Reka, and Black Scorp on Zeratul. To the right side of the map, Zarmany on Arthas, we have AD playing Reyna for Bob, Aethera Angel on Leoric, Bakery on Karazim, and Snitch on Johanna. So a triple warrior setup on the side of Bob right now, going up against Zeratul for TeamLiquid, which is of course pretty nice. I mean, that's actually like very cool if you have a setup like this, because Zeratul has a pretty tough time really surviving against those warriors, and also he's going to be in a spot where it's going to be a bit difficult. B-stepping all the way here, Aethera Angel and Black Scorp dancing through the mid lane. We're seeing on level 1 for Sylvanas, of course, her Shadow Dagger talent going for the Lost Soul. It combos perfectly with the level 16 talent when you can get even a few more out of those. But early game pressure is something that Sylvanas can definitely bring to the table here. Transcendence taken for Karazim on level 1. We have a few Regeneration Master talents again, in this case on Zeratul, and also for Arthas. It's definitely going to be Rending Cleave again for Zeratul, since he will jump into this clumped up melee pack that we have on Bob's side and just get a cleave in and then move out again. But you can really tell that the sustainability that we're seeing for Bob is going to be amazing during this game. And that should keep AD on his Reyna very safe, riding the money pick in style. I like it. And he could theoretically start to rotate between lanes a bit. It's not the best map for rotations of this case, but he could try and do that to get a few more seasoned marksmen stack, or just play it safe and sound and try to get into the late game. We have now also Give Me More taken. Oh yeah, that of course negates basically what I just said, since he does not need those seasoned marksman stacks. Which surprises me a little bit, because I still felt that with the setup that we're seeing here for them, range damage with the auto attacks is something that they could really need. So they have even more sustainability than before. Apparently not afraid that they're going to lack damage, especially with, of course, Arthur's probably going to go into destruction on level 4. A kill against Leoric up at the top lane is starting things off though, but Black Scorp is on the run now, and well, he's not going to make it. He jumped in to get the kill against Leoric, but now Black Scorp himself paid with his life for this one, and Aethera Angel is already back and is just starting to push the lane even further. So he's up at the top lane, it's just like, alright boys, don't worry, I got this locked down. It's all good in the hood. Bottom lane, the 2 healers up against each other, and that's the battle that Bakery is going to win on Karazim. The self-sustain the hero has is absolutely incredible, and as Bakery already said, like, it's one of his favorite characters in the entire game right now. He has great healing potential here, and it's something that Bob has been showing over and over again, and especially the Divine Palm timing on Bakery is pretty cool. Like, he was able to make that hero shine in the winner bracket series against TeamLiquid already when they played for the first time in this tournament. Now here in the loser bracket, it's a chance for TeamLiquid to redeem themselves, but so far that has backfired pretty hard since they lost the first map. Retaliation taken again for Johanna. That's not going to make it any easier for TeamLiquid to focus on one single target during these fights if they are all the time condemned by Johanna, especially with battle momentum, of course, the obvious level 7 talent now for the hero. We're seeing also at the same time a move against Bakery at the bot lane. He should be able to dash away, but whoa, yes, in the last second, and nobody able to take him down. Using, of course, the shield here to stay alive as well.
heals back up and goes straight into the fight once again. So we have an Envenom taken for Sylvanas on level 4. There's very few talents that you can really take there. Envenom is not as strong as it was in the past, but the problem that Sylvanas has on level 4 is that most of the other talents are even worse. So most of the players are still going for Envenom. The Lost Soul on level 1 allows to just like get these waves out of the way a bit faster. Just getting the Shadow Dagger applied every single time, and then on level 16, as already highlighted earlier, it can just do wonders when you have that Cold Embrace talent available to you and you try to burst down a couple of targets. Jaina could help as well, going into for the Northern Exposure. Down here, no, Iceland's taken. Both of the teams are level 7. ADRD in trouble, and yes, they lose him. ADRD is down. We already have the Breath of Heaven taken, and now TeamLiquid is starting to chase down the players of Bob. The level 7 talents have been taken a bit later. Black Scob is dead again, but they get the kill against Karazim. And Snitch is attempting to maybe drop another target here. Hero Angel is going deep, but he does not have the Lingering Apparition, and therefore he can't go deep enough to get the kill against one of these heroes here. Grand Paquette, on the other hand, he is going really deep to make sure that they don't get the tribute, and he is getting taken down. He was hitting this one out of the park, so a great swing here on Aetherial Angel. We still need that baseball skin for Leoric, because that was definitely a home run right there. Locked down by Arthas, and then that big swing, and he hit home. Now Arthas is also dead, and a kill against Leoric again, with AD already moving in just to drop to half HP. Bakery and everybody else, I mean, this is getting nuts here. It's basically a 5 versus 4 that is being played, because during all of this, Falcon was at the top lane, is playing a PvE. Falcon is not even bothering about anything, and they are an entire level ahead because of this. They are super far ahead. Revolution Overdrive now taken, and especially since Falcon on Sylvanas also went into Unstable Poison as a level 7 talent, he can just burst any kind of wave away. We are 5 minutes into the game, and that bloody tribute is still there. It's still there. Nobody has taken that. First Aid, Cleanse only available on Rhaegar. We don't see it for Karazim in this case. Arthas has pushed Falcon back, and Falcon nearly died, so in experience they're at least able to close the gap a tiny bit, but the tribute is still on the map, and both of the teams are lingering around and making sure that nobody is taking that away. Level 10 will drop soon though for TeamLiquid, and then they have definitely an opportunity to grab the first tribute of the game. But hey, we are only 9 minutes in, 6 minutes actually. But yeah, level 10 should hit now, and that will finish that off. So there it is, tribute taken, 6 minutes in, level 10 also about to hit now for them. And with level 10, we're seeing them, yeah, the mid lane is being pushed. And here's the level 10s currently with, of course, Void Prism, Ancestral Healing, Avatar, Ring of Frost, again, played by Jaina here, and the Wailing Arrow for Falcon up at the top lane, where we're now seeing Black Scorp taking over for experience. At least Bob is getting closer in EXP, and they will not suffer too long against the heroic ability of TeamLiquid and instead get their own in as well. So right now we have them with their own level 10s, and that is of course the Army of the Dead again. March of the Black King that we are seeing here. It's going to be Divine Palm for Karazim, no doubt about that. Hyperion already taken, and it's a great talent to have on this map. On a few other maps we've even seen Banshees, but normally when you're playing on Cursed Hollow with the tributes, you want to go into the Hyperion. Helps also if your opponent is attempting to take one of the golems, which is not the case here. And we have also the Blessed Shield, and here's already the first fight happening. Up to the top lane, Falcon is really low. Aetherial Angel used his March of the Black King already, but Snitch is also suffering, and he is the first one who's able to get taken out. A double kill potentially. Nope, Divine Palm keeps Zarmani alive. The question is just for how long, because he's dropping low, and that is the second kill already. Great play here by TeamLiquid. They get a double kill, a triple kill, 7 kills, 8 kills against 3, and they get the tribute now on top of this too. Very, very impressive play here by the Spanish team, and I mean, this is going the exact same way the rest of the best of 3 series that TeamLiquid played in the loser bracket has gone. First game they lose, and then they take 2 in a row. We're not there just yet, but this is very reminiscent of what we've seen against teams like Na'Vi and also Rocket. They move in, they get their kills against Bob, and Bob is starting to fall behind. At the bot lane, we already see Black Scorp taking additional experience, and they're of course heading for level 13 now, which would give them the additional talent. Bob is starting to struggle here a bit. Falcon moves away again, and this Sylvanas is really just a big nuisance. She is a massive pain for them. Again, that fort already down to half HP, but boss is now being taken, and this is a bit of a gamble on the side of Bob. They are level 10 versus level 10 talents. Their cooldowns are nearly ready, but now that they've been discovered here, they start to move away. Could have tried to lock down Sylvanas, but I guess in this case the Haunted Wave would have helped Falcon to escape once more. Down to the bot lane, Black Scorp is already in position, gets pushed away and eats some of the damage here. ADRD is pushing him back. The Tribute, this is one of them that they have to take. The problem is that any second now level 13, there's level 13 already. Healing Surge, the Wormhole taken. Oh, but they snipe, that's a great one. They snipe Falcon, and now they have a chance to win even without that talent. In a 5 versus 5 against level 13s, I don't think they would have had a chance to win this, but now they have an opportunity, but the problem is that Black Scorp takes Reyna apart. Great play here by him, but Vortex is still eating the damage of the Hyperion. They're starting to rotate over again. Lucifron already jumping away. It's still a 4 versus 4 now, and we're seeing that extra talent come into play with Bakery, desperately trying to get the Tribute. They don't want to give the curse to their opponents. We still haven't even the level 13 talent taken on the side of Sylvanas. Of course, she died early, but now she's coming back into the game and needs to make sure that she takes the talent. It's got to be curse. They're not contesting it anymore. They are taking the curse, and this is a super bad spot for Bob to be in. Up at the top lane, already the pressure against the... yeah, they are going to lose that keep. The fort. They're going to lose the fort here, and in the mid lane we are going to see exactly the same thing happening as we are once again seeing Grand Paquette and his boys moving in. They go straight for a potential kill here, and this is just way too much for Bob to handle at this point. Bob is starting to suffer, and they are suffering a lot. They have the level 13 talents, and I mean, that's at least something. The problem is that they are still down 1.5 levels, and it's 9 kills against 4, which pretty much shows how these fights went thus far. We have now Biting Cold plus Steel Resolve, which is a talent that ADRD and Snitch, when they are playing Reyna, have been taking over and over again. A double, well, actually, like with them now going both into Burning Rage, they might have a chance to get some damage out during these fights, but with Leoric dying instantly, there's just very little they can do now. The curse is still full on, and the top lane is getting pushed thanks to the camp that was taken earlier. 15 versus 13, and Liquid can now push back or move back and just simply take one of the golems. It's all that they need to do right now. Top lane has been depushed down to the bot lane. Falcon is just making sure that those two siege giants are not going to get too sassy. Just move in. Bam. Here comes now also the Haunting Wave, and he is blasting the entire thing away thanks to the unstable poison. Whereas up at the top lane, we're seeing again an attempt by Bob to go straight for that camp. And this is not looking too good for them either. Like, again, they lose time. They were expecting TeamLiquid to move down and take their own camp, their own golem, their own boss, but they didn't. And now TeamLiquid is again in a position where they are trying to snipe one of these heroes. They don't necessarily want to fight right now, though. They just want to buy some time so that they can hit the level 16 talent. 10 kills against 4 brings them to a great spot. And it looks like Bob is, at least for now, settling for the Bruiser camp instead. And this one they can secure. We still have in the mid lane Falcon, and he is probably going to try and look at the bot lane to maybe snipe another wave and get then level 16 even closer to them. As long as they have a grasp on where exactly their opponent's team is positioned, this is all good for them. They just need to make sure that the boss is not getting taken while they are not on level 16 just yet. Black Scorp again in the mid lane, delivering some damage to the wave, and they are going to get that next level any second right now. Boss is being attacked again, and TeamLiquid, are they rotating over? Down here, Falcon takes a camp now too, but that's the level 16 talent. Lucifron is up at the top. They have by now also, yeah, well, they go for Stone Form here, of course, and the boss is leashed again. Bob is losing too much time. They are losing way too much time, and Lucifron even keeps the boss aggro so that he doesn't gain hit points back. Black Scorp is here in the back. They give it up then, let it go back to full HP, but it's 16 versus 14, and that is a great position for TeamLiquid to be in. Bob, they have to somehow make a comeback. And that means winning a fight. But how can they win a fight if they do not have that additional talent? They could try and get a pick somewhere, but now it's TeamLiquid committing to the boss up at the top lane, and they are going to try and take that away. And if they succeed, then it's going to be trouble for their opponent, for Bob. Here comes already the Hyperion, but nice Void Prism as well. Great March of the Black King, really well played, a lot of damage, and it looks like we could see a kill on Jaina. Vortex is about to die, great double kill, even they take the boss now too. Bob with an amazing move here. They win a fight without the 16 talent, and they take the boss as well. what a play. They go in an amazing march of the Black King from Ethereal Angel. They have the Hyperia now too, and then they just take down Rhaegar and one of the squishies, and they even get a kill against Mirrodin, which delivers level 16 to them. The boss is already pushing the top lane, and that was unbelievable. Team Liquid loses 3 heroes in this situation, and now we have the Soothing Breeze taken over the Circle of Life for the move on silences, blind, slows and roots, and that makes quite some sense if you're thinking about not only the silence there that we are seeing on the side of Sylvanas, but also the stuns that can be delivered if you don't need that extra healing power. Bullseye already taken, Renewed Swing that combos very well with the Ghastly Reach, and down to the bot lane, of course, the boss attacked again, and Mirrodin is not alive just yet. Johanna hasn't taken a talent yet, but it's a 5 versus 4 that we are seeing here, and this is going to be the second boss. They cannot fight deep enough, they cannot go in for it. They might even lose now Zeratul, and yes they do! Ancestral Healing is too late, and they end up in that vicious circle where you find yourself always down 1 hero. Snitch does not take level 16 yet. He's most likely gonna go into... Well, he has 2 options. Imposing Presence if he really is afraid that especially Zeratul is gonna hunt him down, or extra damage with Blessed Hammer, which just combos perfectly with Retaliation and also Battle Momentum for his Condemn. Personally, I really think that would be a great talent for him, but it's since exposed. We've actually seen that a couple of times already. If you really think that you need that additional heal from your shield Claire, then you can of course use that, and it looks like that's one of the concerns that Snitch currently has. So no extra damage for him, but a bit of self-sustain. The boss at the bot lane is pushing in right now with them, and they are going to try and go for keep. It would be the first keep in the game. They have taken a massive lead in experience. They are level ahead already, but a kill against Arthas is maybe starting the revenge of Team Liquid. The boss is going to go for keep. They're going to get this, but how many heroes are they going to lose here? It's a 4 versus 5 right now. Good stun against Bakery. He dashes away. The Ethereal Angel is low, and Black Scorp is still on the hunt. He is wormholing it back though, and it looks like these 3 are at least for now getting away. And yes, they are. The keep is down. Advantage Bob. But for how long? 12 kills against 8. And they're trying to defend, but once again, Black Scorp jumping in, jumping out, using Wormhole here, and of course always attempting to just get a bit more damage, and just a tiny bit to give them a bit of an advantage. Up to the top lane, Gran Paquete is already getting the tribute, 1 tribute each now, and down here it's ADRD who's a bit in trouble. We have Bakery back to business, of course. He's still in that fight, and Falcon! Wow, it gets sucked in again thanks to the Condemn, and he is already dead. Overstaying their welcome a bit, and without the healer, they are in trouble. Stairs is already used, the Ice Block, and that's the chance for Paquete to heal him out, but no, it's too late. Doesn't have the time anymore. It's a triple kill. And Team Liquid, they made a massive mistake here. And now we are seeing Bob move in, and it looks like they're going to try and go for core. They are trying to go for core. GG already called. Team Liquid, they don't believe in their chances for the defense here. Only Black Scorp still there, and he does not have Void Prison. They're trying to go for Black Scorp. ADRD is the one that gets pressured. Arthas is about to be back. Ancestral Healing already used on Gran Paquete. They're trying to buy some time, but Black Scorp falls, and the core is already without shield and dropping. A 2-0 victory, ladies and gentlemen, by Bob in this series against Team Liquid. Team Liquid is out of the tournament. They are 3rd place of the end of the storm now, and we are going to see the grand final best of 5 between Bob and Alternate Fancy.
It's a 2-0 victory. Bob takes the series, they claim victory again on Cursed Hollow. Well played, and now in this tournament they are 4-1 against Team Liquid. Team Liquid has been defeated in the Consolation Final without taking a single map against Bob. Incredible performance by Bob, and they just show once again that they are in absolutely amazing shape. They've played so many small online tournaments and were successful there, but besides the Road to BlizzCon qualifier, this is like the first big tournament where they were really able to shine, and it's not done just yet. They move on to the grand final where they have an opportunity to win the whole thing. They go up against Alternate Fancy again, and well, we all of course know what happened the last time that they faced in the winner bracket final. Alternate Fancy claimed the series with a 2-1, so Bob, they will really have to work there to make sure that they are getting the tournament title. That's a game that we are going to see the next time. It's actually going to be a best of 5, and I can't wait for that because the winner bracket final was pretty damn awesome. Now in this case, though, Team Liquid is out. Bob advances. Great performance by especially Bob. Congratulations here. Hope that you guys enjoyed the cast and of course also the games themselves. If you did, you know the drill. Hit that thumbs up button on YouTube and hit it hard. And yeah, guys, besides that, thank you very much for tuning in. It was a pleasure, and I'm going to see you next time with the match between Bob and Alternate Fancy, the grand final best of 5 here at the end of the storm. Have a good day and see you soon. Bye bye.